Hi, it's Nicole with BSmission.org. We're going to talk a little bit about limited beliefs and manifestation and why some of the things that I see going on in the world drives me a bit batty because it goes against what I believe. It goes against how I know how to create in this world and to move in this world in a way of beingness of love, harmony, joy, okay? A lot of people have been calling this out, with the COVID and all the things going on. So I'm a huge advocate of speaking things into existence, right? And really paying attention to my emotional body and how what's coming up that needs to be cleared from me. Making sure that the energy behind what it is that I do is very high vibrating. It's very pure, pure love, pure joy, pure appreciation for the journey, right? This is what I do with my clients. This is what I do with myself. Is to my family, to really bring that energy and essence into everything that I do. So when I see things like the media pushing things 24/7 out there, and it's so fear-based, it's imprinting it on the subconscious mind. Okay, that is what is happening here. And it's funny because some people get this, and then some people say, I didn't think of it that way, and some people just don't think of it at all. So that's why I'm making this video, because to me, it's fully apparent as to what's happening. And maybe some people that were good-hearted didn't realize that this is what they're doing. And that's the whole point of this video. So think of what we're doing when we wear a mask, right? What is that doing? Well, it's putting out a signal to the subconscious mind that there's something to fear, right? That there's a sickness, there's something that's going on, all right? Which is, when you see that, typically you're not thinking of health. You're thinking of sickness, right? And some people have been like, I think of a doctor. Well, even if you think of a doctor, what's the reason for going to the doctor? Because usually it's because you're sick, right? Like there's something sort of in there. So I'm just talking about it from like a metaphysical standpoint, right? And if the energy behind it is fear-based, right? Like there's a reason you're putting it on, because you're afraid. Now, there's another part in here about really honoring your spirit and your soul with things that you're doing. If you're doing things that don't feel right to you, that's going to eventually lead you down a path of frustration and possibly sickness, because you're not being in alignment with the truth of who you are. All right. And it's important to start looking at these things. Now, for some people, because they have the beliefs that if they don't do this, they'd get sick, well, then that would be very important for them to wear it, because that's where they are. And that's okay. That's where they are. That's the beauty of this world that we live in. However, it is equally as important for people to start respecting people who have different values and different belief systems on how they move in the world. Okay. Now, not too long ago, I saw the news media in my area saying that they were going to put up a sign with the exact words that George Floyd said when he was dying. And I wrote on there saying that what you're doing is affirming exactly what it is that we do not want here in the Madison, Wisconsin area. All right. You are affirming that, and you are imprinting it in Madison. None of that is a solution. That is not helping us raise the vibration here. So it's important for people to start looking at the words they're using, what they're saying, the energy behind it, and what they're entangled in, okay? In fact, I was watching somebody else who I know carries some victim energy, okay? And she was very close to being on the cusp of really not getting pulled back in there. And I saw something that was wrote, and I was like, oh, she's pulling herself back in an old pattern. Okay, because a lot of this journey is about really getting to know yourself and seeing where you're stuck in limitations, whether it's a limited belief, a trapped emotion, right? Where is it in your cellular memory that needs to be cleared? This life, past life, future, right? All of them are existing simultaneously at the same time. The deeper we go, the more that we heal, the higher that we are in vibration, and the more balanced we become. And that's where I am. I feel very balanced in my body. I feel very in harmony with who I am right now. And I'm using that energy to project forward into things that I create for myself and for the people that I love. Because Nothing makes somebody, especially a mother and a grandmother, more happy than to see and the success of the people that they love. All right. It brings me a lot of satisfaction to do this for my clients. It brings me a lot of satisfaction to do it with my family. And it brings me a lot of satisfaction to do it for myself. It's a beautiful gift to have. And it's not just something that I can do, but it's something that I had to work really hard to clear away some really old programs that were running inside of me to get back to the pure essence of who I am. So, and you know, there's a lot of people right now imposing views and their limited beliefs. This is just something they're entangled in. So one thing that I tell people to say is to ask your guides, your higher self, your connection to God, whatever it is that you connect with, right? To detangle you from anything. In fact, as I'm saying this, they're saying, please forgive me for getting entangled in anything that was not meant for me to be on my journey. Okay. That's really important because that's going to start freeing you from stuff that maybe you didn't know. You didn't need to experience, you didn't need to be entangled in. Now, I think to take this to another level, there's been other people who I see who are sharing these videos and they're including like an all inclusive in something that's going on. It's important for people to know that just because someone is experiencing it doesn't mean that that's what you were meant to experience on your journey. Okay. It's just that's that person's experience. And when you get around the right people, they start detangling you and seeing like, oh, here's where you're stuck, right? And they start releasing these things for you. You start shifting the narrative in this way. So pay very close attention to when people are saying this is where we're all at, you know, and really what they're saying could be saying is this is where I am at and where I'm stuck and what I am. And they're trying to include you into like that tribal energy, that this is how it has to be. Now, there's a beauty in tribal energy. It's like knowing how to take care of people and how to love them. So that's where it's important to start asking yourself and becoming more clear on, is this coming from the purest energy of myself? Is this loving? Is this like a very fulfilling energy that's going to help and all-inclusive? I'm helping everyone from this standpoint. And if it's not, and it's coming from worry or fear, let's look at that a little bit deeper, right? Does that feel right? Is that aligning with you? Are you operating from that space? Now you need to have the wisdom to know the difference in there. And so that's where some people are well-meaning and well-intentioned, but they might not be doing the other people the best service. Okay. And I'll share a little story with this, and I might have done a video on this before, so apologize if I did, but there was this little boy once when I was at my grandson's school, and he had went across these monkey bars 3 times, and he was like fearless, totally did it. Like, woo, look at him go. His mom came out and saw him doing it, and she made him get down. And she said, oh my goodness, it's freaking me out. You're scaring me. Don't do that again. And we all stood there looking at her. Why? Because the little boy had already done it successfully 3 times, didn't even have a thought of being fearful in his mind. He knew, I can do this. Nothing can stop me at full force, right? And who placed a limited belief and wanted to control that freedom of knowing that you can do anything that it is that you want, and you don't have to stop and be held back by other people's limitations that are projected onto you. Okay. Now, the mother, obviously there's a training there. We've all done it. As a mother and a grandmother, I completely understand, but I also understand how to get myself out of it and where I come from in my life and how I navigate. So pay very close attention to your path, what's coming up for you to be cleared, and who you're surrounded with. Are they lifting you up? Are they in harmony? Do they have quality relationships in their life? That's a big one for me. Like, I had to really do a deep inner work to have quality relationships with my family because we had a lot of past life karma. So once I did that, things started really shifting, and I feel way more fulfilled than I ever did in my life. There's still some waves that come in, but I know that if something's coming in that's disturbing my inner peace, it's for me to look at and for me to heal. So I hope this video helped. You can find me at beasmission.org. I'm Nicole. Thanks for watching.